enter into the holiday season, is it hard to find hope in the world of autism? Join us as we discover new ways to find hope in autism.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of my Spectrum Life podcast. My name is Jessica, and I'm an autism mom. With me is my good friend, Kelsey. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, Jess, I'm Kelsey. I'm a SPED teacher. I have a master's in behavior, and I am super excited to be here with you tonight.
Yes, it's going to be, hope is a good topic for this season, don't you think?
I think it is, especially tomorrow is going to be the first day of a new month.
Yes. And as we know, my son, for some reason, is going to wake up and start bouncing off the walls. He does this every year, December 1st. Bam. Although he's been going crazy. Oh yeah. My husband just put up a sign, already has. Yeah, he's been going crazy and doing the whole Christmas one of his favorite movies is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Been singing the songs, that's him.
I love it.
And a month and a half of that has kind of is starting to wear on me a little bit, but I think we can handle it.
You can. You definitely can.
Yeah. So we were thinking about hope. I think a lot of this, it came about in a strange way, I think, because I've been thinking a lot about the autistic community.
Right.
And bridging the gap between those who are new to the community and just coming in, just getting diagnoses, and trying to understand what it is to be autistic.
Right.
All the language, different things. There's a huge some issues going on within the community right now, and it breaks my heart to see some of the things that are being done,
Right.
And it made me think about hope. And we were at church on Sunday. Actually, we weren't at church because my asthma's been giving me problems. So thankfully, that's one good thing we can find that's been great out of 2020. Technology has helped us in so many ways.
Yes.
Even though it can be the bane of our existence, it has helped. And so, we were sitting at home and watching the pastor online, and he talked about how usually during this time, it's crazy. Normal schedules during this time of year are just nuts.
They are.
So many parties, so many, have to go here, have to go there, this, that, and the other thing. I know in my house, it creates some issues. Does it create issues within the classroom in a typical year?
It does, because we get out of school. So after Thanksgiving, we only have 3 weeks before we get out again.
Right.
And so during that time, you have midterms, you have all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden it hits them the week before we get out that it's Christmas time, that schedules are about to change. And so I see a lot more chatter. I see a lot more of incomplete work.
Yeah.
And a lot more distractions and they're very hard to get focused. And that's normal in any classroom, but it's really intense.
Before breaks. Yeah. And he was this year, since we're not going to necessarily have all those parties and stuff. It kind of can be a blessing, and give us a little bit more hope. Perchance, in being able to recognize some of the issues and maybe even connect a little bit more
Right.
with the autistic people in our life.
Right.
Because, if there's lots of crowds or parties with big crowds and noises, that's difficult.
That's very difficult.
A lot of kids and adults who are on the spectrum, crowds and stuff are really tough to handle. But then you can keep it smaller and really connect and understand, like we have talked about before, connect and understand what it is, those things that throw them off.
Right.
And when you find it, it's like a light bulb. And then you can replicate the situation and it's like, oh, I see it again. I got this. I know how to handle it. That's a way to find hope, right?
It is finding those small things and seeing them light up in their own world, especially with the smaller ones and with everything with the pandemic going on right now. Being within your own home and not going out in itself is also very reassuring for the autistic community, because you're able to stop back and actually see them for them. And you're not going to have to worry about, as a mom or a therapist, you're constantly thinking about, okay, what do I have to avoid, or what can I help them with? And you're not going to have to if you stay at home and, have the small get together that you're talking about, or virtually what you're talking about with the virtual. FaceTime has been a amazing thing lately. Things like that. So.
Yeah. I don't know what my husband was trying to say. He says, I don't have autism. I am autistic. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. The language in the autistic community is you don't have autism, you're autistic, because you don't want to portray that autism is something that's curable.
Which
we know it's not. Sorry, folks. Let's be accepting of them. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we can do. And to, even as a person on the outside looking in, to give hope to an autism mom, or a person with an autistic person, accept them for who they are. Derek is reminding me. So the other day, Curtis is sitting down, and one of the ways that he's able to connect right now that I actually think is a little helpful is he's connecting virtually gaming ways. So he doesn't have to focus on trying to interpret body language or facial expressions. All he has to deal with is the intonations of their voice and inflections in voice. So that's just one of the aspects of being around a person that we have to know. And somebody said, "Oh, this is Curtis and he has autism." And Curtis says, "No, I'm autistic." It's like, good job, buddy. So that's a way that, I found hope in the fact that he's beginning to be able to advocate for himself.
Right.
Advocate. And he's okay. He's autistic. He knows it, and it's just fine.
And he's comfortable. He's comfortable in his own skin. And that's the hope that you're looking for as a parent. You want them to be comfortable in their own skin.
Yep. Well, and you're entering a season that I know as a teacher is really tough. IEP season, right?
It is. IEP season not until spring, but some districts do it in December or by the birth date, so they might have them all year long. But I know as a teacher, IEPs tend to focus on what they're struggling with. However, before we do that, there is a portion in the IEP that states, no, this is what they've mastered. And so that is hope for a parent, because they have, some of my kiddos have gone from kindergarten to second grade reading level within a year. Some of them have gone, just taking the simple fact that they've gone from a 7th grade level to an 8th grade and just increasing in their math skills just by a year. That in itself is very hopeful for a parent, and not to get bogged down about what they always need. Sometimes it's okay to look at what is the best for them that day, like what they've done awesome, and forget the rest that day. the other thing I was going to talk about is you remembered me about, you're talking about gaming. And as a teacher, it has still been my highlight. So I have a mixture of all different levels of disabilities within the class. And
Yeah.
some of us are more social than others.
Mm-hmm.
And made my day the other day. I took the time last Tuesday for just them to talk and just get to know one another.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, two of them play the same WWE game, and
Nice.
they swapped screen
Gamer tags.
tags,
Yeah.
name tags. Yep. And they've been playing each other over the Thanksgiving holiday and just got to know that they actually had a lot more in common. And I was like, awesome,
That's
because that was my biggest fear as a teacher
Mhm.
right now with virtual. How are we getting you the social? How am I getting you to,
Yeah.
and so virtual, that gave me hope
Mm-hmm.
for my
Yeah.
kiddos. And
There's a lot of fear in that we're missing so much right now, but I think there's little things that we can find that hope in that is going to help us make it through.
exactly.
For instance, I mean, crazy. So I've talked before about my binders and the fact that I
Right.
am the binder queen,
Yes.
self-proclaimed binder queen. I have
Right.
binders everywhere. So we finally got an appointment with the Children's Hospital here and the big area hospital. And it's tough going in when you find a new doctor to get them to understand. Well, I come in with my 4 binders, very heavy binders.
I could just see it now.
Yes, I was like, trying to bring. And the doctor said, "Thank you so much. I wish I could give you a trophy because this is amazing." She was able
Right.
to take and go from beginning to current where we were and understand Curtis.
Mhm.
That gave me hope. Hole punching and filing was worth it.
It is
So,
hope to see that.
yeah, yeah.
It is. And it goes back. Oh,
Meredith says not necessarily crazy, but has been a challenging with my SBD kiddo with changes in expectations. Oh, yes.
yes.
She is used to certain schedule this time of year, and due to COVID, it has changed so much. Changes are hard. They are. Those transitions and stuff are so difficult. But that's when if they transition, I keep forgetting to do this, but when a transition goes okay and there's not a big hiccup, that's huge.
That's huge. That's a big
That's huge.
accomplishment. Big
Um,
accomplishment.
yeah, I was talking about, even transitions in from one subject to a next or from one place to the next.
Mm-hmm.
I know Curtis didn't like to have to wear a mask all day today. He only took it down once.
That's
That's
awesome. That just in itself is
that's
a
huge.
miracle. That's
Yeah.
huge.
So, yeah, I feel you. Changes are so hard.
They are.
They are. But it wears you down. It really does. I know that even over Thanksgiving break here, I came out of it being very weary, because there was just a lot of changes. No, don't have normal school. Um,
Right.
Tried to let him sleep in, but then he got up at like dark 30 and we didn't get that extra sleep. But yeah, I totally get that. It's hard. Um, and but finding just the smallest thing that they change and everything's good in and it doesn't drag,
Right.
that's to give them the praise for that can be so helpful for them and for you to
Yeah.
celebrating those little moments.
It is the little moments. That's
Yeah.
what keeps going. And that's when I like to say it's cabin fever, but pretty
Yeah.
much everybody has cabin fever right now, being
Yes.
inside and not having a break from your child in a lot of ways. Um, is to really look for those little small things
Mhm.
because they are there. They might not be as noticeable because you're taking a brain break or a mental break from your own child when they go to school and come back,
Mhm.
but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
That's what we need to look for.
Yeah.
So.
And it's good to be able to relate to each other, knowing that changes are hard, and we can relate to that. We can relate to that. To know that that's, you know, you can really bond over that. Meredith says, seeing them grow through the change is truly a celebration to see little wins during growth.
Amen.
Well said.
Amen. That's just well said. I think that's what we're trying to say.
That's awesome. That's
awesome. Very
good. So this week, we want you to look for the little moments. Yes. And yes, find those little moments and let us know about them. We love to hear the little moments. And, I will share some of I'll try to note some of those little moments this week and share them with you. But email us at info@myspectrumlife.com with those little moments, and let's develop our own little community here. Let's bond over these moments and these things that we share. Whether it's bonding over the fact that changes are difficult with sensory processing disorder kiddos. Curtis has sensory processing disorder. I get it. Whether it's the fact that you have to have Kraft macaroni and cheese with yellow cheese, or it won't work. I get it with the food things. I get it. But, let us know. So info@myspectrumlife.com. And where's some of the other places, Kelsey?
You can find us at Twitter at MySpectrumLife with the number 1, Facebook and Instagram at MySpectrumLife.
And this week we will be back with our videos. So make sure you subscribe and like the channel to help boost our growth. That's going to be huge for helping us out here. And make sure you click that notification bell so you know when the Wednesday and Friday videos go live.
Yes.
And yeah.
With a whole bunch of
yes, with a whole bunch of, I was just going to say, and you'll share some hopeful moments too, right, Kels?
I definitely will. I have some in mind.
Okay, good. So we'll keep sharing on these hopeful moments as we go on. So as always, with a lot of faith, because we need that.
Yes.
Love, because we got to show it. And a whole lot of fidget toys. You just got to have them. We'll make it.
We will make it.
Bye.
Bye.